Hey strongmen out there, this is a video for you. We're going to have on Scott from East Coast West Coast Gym in Costa Mesa, California. He's going to help with some of the coaching involved with log pressing, especially when you're dealing with lower back pain. I'm going to come on later, by the way, I'm Sebastian. I'm going to come on and maybe coach some of the things that we can do when we see this happen, kind of the aftermath of it. What can we do to settle the back down a little bit and still continue to do some activity and get you back into the gym? So here's Scott. Stay tuned to the very end where I'm going to share some helpful tips on my end.
So this is Scott from East Coast West Coast. Today we're going to show you guys how to deal with log pressing when you have lower back pain. So you may have heard of Stuart McGill and his bracing protocol. So most guys, when they will press a log, will really create that hyperflexion or hyperextension in their lumbar, and then they'll open up their neck and they'll really lean back on that lower back area and those discs. But for the majority of your training, you're going to actually pull the chest into the rib cage and then just lean back with the neck. You're going to take more of a square position rather than creating that really forward hip drive. So instead of, like I said, pulling the log up and then hyperextending your back, pull the chest into the rib cage more and then stay square, and then drive the log up over the head. And do most of your volume in that method. Like really try to tighten up the lats in the front, pull the chest into the rib cage, and then try to keep more of a neutral position. Okay, don't rely on that hyperextension of your lumbar to create a mechanical advantage in the majority of your volume. Can you do that in some of your volume? Yes, but try to limit it to, say, maybe under 20%. So most of your lifting, if you are having experience in that back problem, would be to really pull and brace the abs before you start, and then maintaining that neutral posture.
Okay, so now that Scott covered technique associated with back pain log pressing, I think he's dead on there with some of the bracing, and we can leave some in reserve and just think of this as a way to spare yourself from having issues as you lead up into your competition versus just having some issues in the competition. Now, at this point, you should probably decide, are having the aches and pains that you are having, is this something you want to have? As we kind of say with athletes of various types, you are picking your poison a little bit, and baseball players get some shoulder issues sometimes. Field hockey players get some low back issues. Strongmen and people like this will get other issues too. And so it's your risk reward, really. I love my sport. I wouldn't take it away for anything. But just remember, are you doing it because you like doing it, or are you doing it just because you think you should be doing it? Anyways, if you do like doing it, here's what we can probably try. So a lot of times a decompressive technique is very, very nice. A few ways to accomplish this. This one is like a park bench stretch. This chair's not really right for it, but you kind of like let your lower body just kind of dangle and you just hold your body up. It feels really nice. A lot of times you hold up for about 30 seconds. And then you relax and walk around and go arms overhead and see how it feels, and so on. So you can do it a couple times here. That's the easiest one. The second easiest one is finding a position of comfort. I say position of comfort because a lot of times people will have different reasons for their back issues. A lot of times when having overhead pressing types of pain, it's because people have an altered hinge point. They're loading a certain section of their spine right into here, which can create referral into the glutes, into the flanks, sometimes into the hip and groin, and also tenderness right here as you're going up overhead. The transitional zone of going from rounding to extension, or at least neutral to extension, is sometimes an issue too. And so that transitional movement, in the absence of having that bracing support, as Scott mentioned, is a lot of times the trigger. But to settle things down, sometimes doing something as simple as doing just a breathing position, just as so. You breathe into the sides here. Okay? Or you can just do straight down. I'm gonna get muffled at this point. But you just go straight down just as so. And just breathe into the floor. Okay? I know these sound really simple and basic. Well, if bracing works to decrease back pain with overhead lifts such as log press, a lot of times creating intra-abdominal pressure just with some type of breathing technique is actually very helpful too. And so there's different paradigms here. There's bracing and breathing, they all have a bracing stabilization component, but a hard brace doesn't allow for a lot of breathing, and breathing doesn't allow for a lot of hard brace. And so it's a sliding scale techniques and skills that you need to develop sometimes, because we all know as you're going through your lifts, you will be breathing at some point. And so you might as well build some support in that realm as well. So decompression is always really nice, as well as some cool down breathing. So consider those. There's always harder things to do that can work faster, but these are the first things off the cuff based upon the information that we went on Scott's video. So enjoy, try it, talk to your doctor first, subscribe to the channel, and subscribe to Scott's channel too. He's got a wealth of knowledge, and if you're starting into strongman types of activities, you should probably be coached. All right, I think we all know it. You should probably be coached. I should be coached if I'm going to play baseball as well. So I'll see you guys next time. Subscribe and like.